Hi, Misha here, and it was a really nice day finally after a pretty lousy spring and summer of a mixture of heat and rain and lots of rain. We had a nice week, and believe it or not, the day turned out to be even nicer than originally forecast. So just really wanting to shoot guns that we enjoy. Brought the Swiss 5.51 LB for a longer barrel out. This is the carbine version in the SIG or SAN SG 550 family. Has a 17.8 inch barrel, including the integrated flash hider. This retains the classic diopter sights, but on the other hand, it has the modern alloy lower that takes AR-15 mags. It's easy to switch to the other one. Has the classic side folding buttstock. And polymer handguards. And speaking of Switzerland, this is another one of our gun and model videos. We have here a model of a Swiss Air Force Northrop F-5E Tiger, which was and still is to some extent their standard aircraft. So yeah, first let's go to the range, run some more rounds through this good old gun here, then we'll come back and have a little bit of a history talk and go from there. 5.51 LB. No surprise, this was 100% reliable, and we've done a lot of videos by now on the SIG and SAN guns. These are authentic. They're built entirely in Switzerland at Neuhausen. These are not SIG Sauer USA SIG 556 types. These were originally imported under the name John Doe Investigations, JDI. Now, since the whole, I'm trying to get where you can see there. Sorry guys, my sling. Now that they kind of have taken off, the owner, Dave, has been able to change the import name to SAN Imports. A little more, in keeping. And he's been importing Swiss guns in small but steady batches since 2015. And has managed to bring in all kinds of cool versions. 5.50 rifle. He's done a 5.51 SB, so the 14.3 inch barrel. Of course, he's done the 5.51 LB I have here. And a whole host of 5.53 flavors. In fact, you can custom build your own. He's also done the 7.51, which is 7.62 NATO 308. And he's got some pretty interesting upcoming projects for late 2019 and early 2020, including kind of a retro SG 5.52. So these are authentic. Switzerland has been using this family early on since around 1986, and then full-fledged since 1990. And it is still the standard service rifle today. And basically what they did here, they combined the best aspects of the AR-15 and the AK-47. By that I mean it has an upper and lower like an AR. It has the accuracy and good sights and nice trigger of an AR. But on the other hand, it uses a long stroke gas piston with 2-lug rotating bolt like an AK. And originally these were chambered for 5.6 GP90, which is a 63 grain projectile, extremely similar to 5.56 NATO, but it uses a 1 in 10 twist. Just a few other things, you know, to set them apart. And originally, these use their own proprietary 20 and 30 round translucent mags. But as they've exported these, they've gone to more and more NATO compliant versions, including this here with the AR magwell. This also has the AR-15 type bayonet lug. And you can even get them now with what they call a 2-piece barrel with a removable flash hider on 1/2 by 28 threads. And if you don't like the factory stock, they even have a folding M4 stock adapter, which is great for Americans because we can also use it as a brace adapter for pistols. These are really cool guns. We've done huge history videos on them. Basically, Switzerland's idea here was buy once, cry once. Make a very high-end gun, even for the military. The SG 5.5 family cost a lot of money, but they're built like tanks and to last. Now, I found it interesting to compare with the F-5. This aircraft was in no way, shape, or form initially designed for a nation like Switzerland. Quite the opposite. This is a 1/72 scale diecast model made by Hobby Master. For what it's worth, this one came from Pete's Collectibles. And I review quite a few of these on my personal channel, or just over at Misha. We'll link below, and I've done a video just on this one, but I figured why not show it here. This was designed by Northrop going back into the 1950s. And they were seeing the trend of fighter jets getting bigger, more powerful, and they wanted to kind of check that by going to a small light fighter. Now they proposed this to the US military, and actually the Army was in favor. They liked the idea. But the Air Force, who had control of fixed wing aircraft, did not. Now this would end up in a lot of Air Force service as the T-38 Talon, a very famous trainer still in use today. But what would happen, the Northrop F-5 would be developed for use and sale to basically third world allies of the USA, including South Vietnam. These would see some service in that war. And then they would do an updated version known as the F-5E for single seat, or F-5F for 2-seat, which was introduced in 1972. And actually more of these would be produced than the original version. And so these were still targeted at third world nations on a budget. So it was kind of surprising to people when Switzerland adopted this aircraft in the late 70s. And actually would even assemble some domestically and place several orders throughout the 1980s. And they would use these to replace older fighters, and this would be their frontline air superiority fighter through the 80s and 90s. Since then, it started to be replaced by newer planes like the F-18 Hornet, but even in 2019, nearly 24 are still in Swiss service. They thought about replacing them, retiring them in 2014. They held a public referendum, and it was decided to keep the F-5. It started off as an air superiority, air defense fighter. Today it's more used as a ground support, ground attack plane, with the F-18 more the air superiority. But the reason Switzerland went with this, they felt it best suited their needs. It didn't have a lot of frills, extras. It was small. It could take off and land in relatively short runways. But they felt it to be dependable and durable, and something that would stand the test of time. And that seems to kind of be the Swiss MO. They want to buy and then kind of just depend on something for decades. And whereas with their rifle, they went kind of top tier. And I don't want to say the F-5 is a bad plane. It's really not. It's just a very basic plane. It's kind of generic fighter look. If you kind of check out the profile, it's just what you'd see in a video game or a movie. It's just there. But yeah, it's one of my hobbies are model aircraft, and I especially like these die-cast ones because they're made of metal. So if you're interested too, you might check out my personal channel. Or if for some reason you've been asleep for the last couple of years, you might check out our Swiss playlist for our take on the 5.5 series, because they're pretty neat. And while they are not cheap, they're one of those firearms that seems to hold value because they're still imported in relatively small numbers, and they are definitely reliable and extremely well built. Well, I appreciate you coming with us today to the range and staying with us, and I'd appreciate it if you would check out my personal page. If you have any questions or comments or just would like to talk anything Swiss, happy to do it in the comments below. If you could like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like to help support the channel, please check out the link to our Patreon page. And if you have time and are bored, hey, check out little airplanes because they're kind of neat. This is Misha, and we'll catch you very soon next time.